Hey guys, what's up? How's it going today? This is Easy Things to Draw, and today we're gonna go over how to draw an anime eye, and I want to talk a little bit about it. I want to start a bunch of videos about drawing anime, and kind of so we're gonna kind of go through each feature of the head first, and then the head, then the hair probably, and then we are gonna go over. Just kind of like the body, stuff like that. But for now, we're going to go over the eye. This is a single video about the eye. So, anime eye. Check it out. So I'm going to talk about the differences really quick, and then I'll draw the anime eye. One of the biggest differences between, I would say, like a traditionally drawn eye and an anime eye would be that, first of all, like, this is more of an indication style. They tend not to put the inner portion of the eye where the ball point, where the ball of the eye is. They tend not to put that. Obviously, everything is different. There's different styles of anime. There's stuff like I came up on Dragon Ball, and there's different forms of animation within just that show. And then there's Attack on Titan, and there's different kinds of things like that too. So I'm just gonna go I'm speaking in generalities. I know there's a lot of different. There's different scales in the spectrum, so don't freak out. But yeah, anyways, big part is this part's missing. It's very indicative. This one you try to draw a little bit more information of what's going on, but that's pretty much one of the biggest sources. Obviously, the other major difference would be the proportions of the size of the eye. The eyes tend to be larger in anime, almost Betty Boop-like. If you look at it like this, if you're drawing like a portrait, you're drawing, see how there's a small, just this more rectangular and small eye, and this one is larger, and also the pupil and iris take up a lot more of the actual eye. So if you were to simplify them down, you kind of have that proportions, right? If you were to in the simplest form, and right here. You have more like this shape filling it, and that would be a big difference, in its most kind of purest form. So let's kind of go over a couple, the way I draw an anime eye. Normally, and I'm not going to do with the proportions of the head right now. If we're drawing two eyes, I'm thinking within this almost box shape, instead of like a rectangle shape like normal. I'm thinking more of this box shape. And I'm using a pen right now. I'm just using a regular ballpoint pen as well right now. And I tend to start with kind of the eyebrow. I'm sorry, the eyebrow. The eyelash. It's kind of one shape. And I'm thinking of it as kind of like a comma or something like that. It's going to all batch together, and I do that as well with everything. It's forming one line, from thick to thin. And I usually try to split this at the end here, where it's coming down from the eyebrow into the actual eye. I just kind of do that split, and I don't touch over here. And then I'm going to pull this eyelash up right here, just a little bit up at the end, a little bit like a swoop. And move this around so it could come out better. A little bit more of a swoop at the end here. And think of it as one solid shape, almost like I'm drawing with a giant marker or something. And then from here, this solid shape, I'm going to pull out a little bit and pull out a little bit more. Just pulling out random shapes to, again, show the eyelash. But I'm thinking of that solid shape first. And then I'm going to add on to this solid shape down, which is actually the other side of the the lower eyelashes. I'm pulling that downward. See how it's just kind of like a triangle hanging downward, but it's going to curve. I'm thinking of that curve with the eye, and it's going to get thinner down here, thinner line. And then there's the bottom portion, the bottom eyelid. Let's give you a little bit of thickness in that as well. And I'm going to throw in my iris and pupil. Like I said, it's bigger than the typical eye. Circle for the pupil. Pupil's the dark part. The iris is the colored portion. You can make that pretty big as well. Depends how dilated the eyes are. It's not really up to you. And then you throw in a really large highlight or two. Remember something about the highlight. For example, if my understanding is, and let me show you really quick on the side here. When it comes to highlights, you can, like, let's say you're looking at just that, the colored portion of the eye, the iris, and the light's coming from here. You have the lens portion, the clear lens over the eye, and then you have the colored portion, which I believe is like a dish inside. I believe it's like a concave dish. I'm not totally sure. So when this hits the glassy part of the eye, it'll form this white highlight, but you also will get light on this side. So it'll ding, hit light there, and it'll keep going through, and it'll hit the light on the actual colored portion of the eye, you know, and cause some light. Hope that's clear. If it's not, let me know in the comments. And the way to make highlights really stand out would be to kind of darken up these shapes. You could make it solid black. I'm not going to make it solid black for sake of demonstration, but I'm going to make it dark. And it's going to gradate downward. The sun comes from above, so the eyelid tends to make a shape. I'm sorry, the eyelid kind of casts shadow onto the pupil itself, and sometimes you can have it here on the eye. On the, I believe they call it sclera, the white portion of the eye. There's a little bit more style to this kind of eye because you're not following reality, you're kind of emphasizing reality a little bit, and you're kind of hyper reality in a way. And you could pull some eyelashes in the bottom if you want, for like a girl. And you can pull this line as far as you want, you know, but generally there's no ball of the eye. And you could take that further if you wish. Because there's a color within the eye, but since we're dealing with black and white, you know, just kind of fill that in there to make it look like there's a value, some sort of color. This one, I'm totally using a normal ballpoint pen, by the way, completely normal. The reason I use that is because I kind of lost the other one, so that's all I got right now. So that would be in contrast to, let me do the other eye, almost exactly the same. Oops. You measure it over. Pull it over there. Far eye. Almost everything I do, I'm like in 3/4 view, I notice. It's kind of hard to get the shape of the eye because I don't know, just is sometimes you're gonna have to. It's not that hard, honestly. It's pretty easy, but you're kind of balancing out shapes, and this is what I talked about with the shaky hands video. You have to kind of pull lines a certain direction. You have to you have to kind of thicken out shapes. You know what I mean? That requires some mild precision. You know. Pull that out. And it's weird too. It's almost like a habit I have to draw the center portion of that eye, so I just got to change that. Highlight coming from the same direction. And I am going to kind of speed this part up because it's the exact same process. Okay, so I'm about finished with that part. We're evening these things out, pulling that line down there. It's your decision now how long you'll pull that line, but remember that it all kind of forms very similar to caricaturing. You got to It's like you're forming this one thick line. You're dealing very linearly. I made this eye a little bit smaller because she should be turning to the left. I'm not gonna do noses in this one. I'm gonna talk noses about the next one. Um, for eyebrows, I just kind of throw in. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you watching. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, next time we'll do noses, and then so on. So see you later, guys.